Okay, hey folks. So I'm just going to give you a brief introduction to mission building. Nes put a really good video up just a day or so ago. But there's a few things I can simplify for you just to get you started and up and running with a basic setup using my 75 slot template. So to get started, first thing that you need to do is basically get a set of mods loaded that you're going to be using. If you go to the TFA Discord, go to mods lists, there's a couple that you can use. The standard mods list is the TFA Mod Pool 2. Ignore all this stuff that's on the left here, it's just confusing and makes things difficult. Just look at the names on the right hand side. Those are the actual names of the mod lists. So the TFA Mod Pool 2 includes absolutely everything that we use. So if you use that one, it will load all of the mods. What I've also just put up is this one here, which is a TFA Mod Pool with no maps. So this will basically load all of the current modern universal maps, but without any of the extra, all of the modern universal mods, but without any of the extra maps. There's a lot of extra maps in the full mod list that you're not going to need. You only need the ones that you're actually going to use. So if you use this one here, this mod list, TFA Mod Pool No Maps, then you can just load whichever map that you want to use for your particular mission. Okay, so we go back to ARMA now, go to the mod section, and once you've downloaded that, you will find it in here. TFA Mod Pool No Maps, there you go. So load that up. Now what I've also included in my mod list here is 2 extra mods which are not in that list, and those are these 2, Eden Enhanced and Advanced Developer Tools. If you're building a mission in Eden, then I highly recommend that you also include this, because this is going to make your life in Eden a lot simpler. It's going to offer you a lot of new options that the community have designed is not in the base vanilla ARMA. Very, very helpful indeed. The advanced developer tools don't really need that unless you're going to be doing any scripting or designing any factions or anything like that. But this one for sure, I would highly recommend that you load that one as well. So once you've got your mod list set up, then you can load into ARMA. So once we get in, we're going to go straight into the Eden editor. Once we get to the Eden editor, we're going to start going through the basic setup for any mission, and this will be exactly the same for any mission that you're building for TFA. I'm going to do a top-down setup with a certain workflow that I always use. If you follow the workflow, then it makes it very easy. You just do exactly the same every time you do a new mission. And most of the, most of the information, most of the files that you need are going to be already included either in the 75-man slot template, or you can get them from Discord if you go to the creator team chat. There are some pins. There's one at the moment. I'm going to put in a couple of more in there that you can use to get down files that you actually need. So it's taking a while to load, and this is without even all of the extra maps. If you use the full mod list, the full mod pool, then it's got all of the cup maps in it, and it's got a bunch of other maps, like a few Afghanistan maps, a few GOS maps, and also the Angola maps, so it would load all of those as well. You don't need them, you only need the map that you are going to be using for the actual mission. I'm not a big fan of the cup maps, they're all a little bit outdated for me. A lot of them are broken and cause bugs, so I prefer to not use cup maps myself. Oh, it takes a long. Bear with me. Okay, there we go. Now, at this point, I never touch my keyboard, never touch my mouse, because when ARMA's loading, if you touch anything, or if, in my experience, if you touch anything when it's loading, you're asking for trouble. So I just let it load, just sit here and be patient for a while, looking at a black screen until ARMA decides to load up. We do have a very large mod list, and there's a lot of stuff in there, which is why it takes a little bit of extra time. Just need to be patient. So usually get this warning here. You can close that, just ignore it. So okay, so here we are. So now if you go into the editor section, just click on editor. I'm just going to use Altis to set up this tutorial, because we're all familiar with it from the training server, so we all know that map quite well. And it's relatively bug-free as well, which is one of the reasons I like to use it. According to this, there's waves in Chalky Bay and Telos Bay, but I've never seen waves in ARMA. Okay, again, another error message, just ignore that. You might get different error messages here. This is just something that I loaded one time and never used, and it's left a bug behind, and I don't know how to get rid of it. So once you get your map, then you need to decide where you're going to start your mission. You can use your middle mouse to zoom in and out. You can use your left mouse to select an area, and you can use your right mouse to move the map around. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head into this airfield here because it's nice and flat. If you click your middle mouse button, it will place the camera wherever you click. Okay, so I'm going to put my camera there, and then I'm going to hit the M button, and that will change to map. Okay, so here we are on the Altis airfield. You know, on the training server, this is usually packed with all our gear. So let's just go to a nice flat area to do this setup. So map. Let's see where our camera is. So I'll put our map on there for now. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to do a top-down setup for you. So what we're going to do is, first thing we need to do is save this mission file. Once we save this, it will give us a folder to work with. So let's go to save. Every mission that you build for TFA is going to be a multiplayer mission. So go to MP missions. Give yourself a name. I'm going to just call this _1, tutorial 1. Do not click binarize the scenario file. Okay, leave that empty, leave that unchecked. So give it whatever name you want. The name of your mission will be here, and then click save. So now the name of our mission is up here, tut_1, and .altis is the map. So it always ends with the name of the map that you're on. Okay, so we now have, if we tab out, go to our Explorer. And if you go to this PC, Documents, and then your ARMA 3 other profiles, inside ARMA 3 other profiles, you will find your name, a folder with your name. That's your local area. So then if you go down to MP missions, you will find the folder that we just saved. So there it is, tut1 altis. And the only file that's in there at the moment is the mission SQM. The mission SQM is the file. All of the work that you're about to do is going to be saved into this file. So this will be the actual mission file. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of other things in there. Where are we? TFA mission folder template. So I'm going to put this into the Discord, probably in the creator section. Shut up, cat. So what I'm going to do is just copy these two files here, Control C, go back to my mission folder and then hit Control V. So now we've got the description XT and we've got media, and the media is just a bunch of images. You can delete any of these that you don't need. You can add extra files that you do need if you want to create your own images to go into the folder. But for now, what we need to concentrate on is this one, the description text. So if we go to the description file, you see it says start of editable section, end of editable section. So this section here is the only part that you need to play with. Everything else below here is going to be used, but you don't need to change everything. It's already reset as we need it to be. So everything in this section will appear while the mission is loading. So when you're in the loading section of the mission, you'll see that square box, and it will have your name, your mission name, brief mission description, and then it will have the picture in the middle, and these ones, as it says, not required, not required. Time and date displayed while the intro loads. It's set to 0 hidden because we don't need to see that. Don't need the time and date, don't need the time and date. So the only ones that you need to change is put your name in here, put your mission name in here, a very brief mission description in here, and you can either leave this blank, or if you want to, you can put in your own personal image. Let me just show you an example of that. So go to the media folder, go to the images. Let's say I want to use this one. This is one of my old ones. So a quick tip, that's the file I want to use. If you go to this bar here, click on that, then it will actually change it to a copyable folder. So we're going to take that media images, copy that, go back to ARMA. Oops, actually, sorry, go back to our description, go back to our description actually. So go back to the, so here, media images. So that's what we've just copied. So that's where our media file is. And then back again, and what you can do is click on this, hit Control A to select all, Control C to copy it, go back and then stick that in to replace the actual image file. So now it will load media, images, and the mission load screen.jpg that's from my folder. Okay. There's some extra information that's in the file here about the size ratio and everything that you need if you want to design your own image for that. But if you don't want to do that, then just leave it as the TFA JPEG that was in there before. You'll get a standard TFA loading mission. Okay. So we can hit Control S to save that. So now we have our description XT done. We have our images, so we're done here. So now we go back to ARMA, go back to the editor, and we're going to go to attributes. Going to start setting up the actual mission. So go to attributes, go to general, title and author you don't need. We just put those into the description XT. Overview, picture, and text we don't need. We just put those into the description XT. So you can ignore all of this. Ignore all of this. First thing you need to do is go to miscellaneous and choose what you want. If you're going to have any independents, so the green guys, in your mission, you need to decide who they're going to be friendly to and who they're going to be fighting. So if we want to have a three-way fight, so greens are enemy to everybody and will fight up for and will fight us, then change it to fighting against. If you want independents to be friendly to us, but fighting up for, you change it like this. If you want independents to be fighting us, but allied with up for, you change it to this. Okay. I'm going to leave it as up for are friendly to us and enemy to up for. So, sorry, independents are friendly to us and enemy to up for. Okay. Down here, binarize the scenario file as before. Leave that empty. Do not check that. Editable objects use. As you can read there, checks all alive objects except logics, blah, 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 every 60 seconds and makes them available for editing for all curators. You should check that because that makes the job easier for users. Hide friendly units, you can uncheck that. Hide hostile units, definitely check that. Hide mines, definitely check that, because if you don't check those, then everybody will be able to see where all the enemy is on the map. It will completely spoil the game. Hide mines, you don't want people to be able to see mines, otherwise there's no point in having an engineer or an EOD. So those things you need to check. Editable objects, hide hostile units, and hide mines, and that's it. Everything else is unused. So click OK. So next, environment. So the environment here is basically when your mission is set. So you can set your mission date to whatever year, whatever month, whatever date. Okay. A good tip if you're going to be using a nighttime mission is to go to Tools, Utilities, and go to Moon Phases. And then you can basically choose the year. Let's say I want to do 2022. And I want to do a mission in February the 1st. Well, what's the date today? Let's go for today's date. It's April the 5th, I think. April the 5th. So I actually want a full moon. So let's say we're going to do a nighttime mission. When's the fullest moon? We want a really full moon, the 25th of April. Okay. 25th of April. Copy. So now we go back to our attributes, go to environment, and we can set this to that date. So 2022, April 25th. Okay. So now you can see there that we have a full moon because we know that day was set. But doing a daytime mission, so let's just change the time back to lunchtime or early morning. I usually set my missions to soon after dawn, so just after dawn like that, so it's starting to get light. Okay, what else have we got? Overcast, up to you how to set the weather. Fog start, if you want to add a little bit of fog, it might help a little bit with frames for long distance view if you set a little bit of fog. But again, that's entirely up to you. You can set the mood, you can set the ambience as you like it. Okay. The most important one though is multiplayer settings. So we've got a multiplayer, undefined game mode, minimum players 0, maximum players 0. Don't need to do anything with that. Lobby summary, don't need to do anything with that. What you do need to do is uncheck enable AI, because if you don't do that, every time you want to test your mission and you go play scenario in a single player or play scenario in multiplayer, then all of those AIs that are in the template, the 75-man template, will spawn in. So you're going to have thousands of AI running around. So make sure to disable enable AI. Okay. So what we need to do here is respawn, change disabled to respawn on custom position. So there you go, respawn on custom position. You can also then select respawn position. You don't need anything else. You can deselect that. So the only one you need selected here is select respawn position. Okay, then what I do is I will set this to 3 seconds and this to 10 seconds. So this is your respawn delay for players. So what happens is when they respawn, they will get 3 seconds where they can't do anything before the respawn button becomes active. It gives them a bit of time to think about what they're going to do and where they're going to go. Okay, so just 3 seconds is fine. You can change it to 5 or 10 if you like, but 3 is usually my go-to option. And a vehicle respawn delay 10 seconds. That's just what I do. Okay, and everything else, leave it. So uncheck enable AI, set to respawn on custom position, set select respawn position, set respawn delay to about 3 seconds and vehicle to about 10 seconds, click OK. The reason we didn't need to select anything else is if we go back to our description file, all that stuff I told you not to change is already in here. So disable AI is already set. AI kills count is not set. Show UAV feed, CBA settings, rec removal, respawn delay, everything is already set in here, so you shouldn't need to do anything else. All of that is done already in the description file. So it just makes your life a little bit simpler. Okay, so that's it. We now have our file, so let's just save that again. So what we need to do now is basically start setting up our groups. So if you have subscribed to the 75-man spawn template, which is on the Steam, the link is in the Discord. If you need it, you can ask me and I'll send it to you. Let's just hit collapse all. So F2 is your compositions. F1 is your single units. So if you click on F1 and click something, you're going to get a single unit placed down. Control Z undoes your last thing, or just delete. F2 is compositions, so that will put groups of players down. Let's get rid of that. So if you go to F2, what you also have is your props. So this is like groups of compositions and individual objects. But for now, what we need, what you need to set up is you go to F2 compositions and go to custom. And let's just collapse all. If you go to Steam, subscribe content, go down to men, and you'll find the TFA 75 slot spawn template version 3. Click on that, and then just click on your anywhere on your map, and it will place them down. If you click on something and you don't want to place it, decided you've selected the wrong thing, just right click and it will get rid of it. But we're going to take that, left click, and that will then start loading that in. We'll wait a couple of seconds. Now don't click anything just yet. If you click anywhere off this, then it will deselect everything. Right now it's still all selected, so if you hit your shift key, hold your shift key, left click, then you can rotate everything around to the position you want it to be in. So I'm going to get everybody facing towards me, facing away. Everybody's facing towards me. Okay. You can also just left click and you can move everything around to reposition it. But as soon as you click off anything, it's going to place it. So it's now all placed. Okay. So we have everything that we need to run this mission in there now, apart from enemies. So what we have in this composition is basically all of our players, all of our slots. We've got a limited arsenal. We've got a few boxes that have, this is all Ace medical supplies. This is support equipment like GPS units, NVGs and things. This is a box of uniforms. And this is a weapons loadout, a vehicle loadout. So things like toolboxes, wire cutters, spray paint, stuff like that. This has everything in it. Okay, I'll come back to those in a minute. Not important right now. So what we also have is a Fortify. This allows your players to dig trenches and stuff like that. You don't need to do anything with it. If you double click on it, it's set to blue 4, it's set to medium. Leave it as it is. You don't need to do anything with that. Okay. We also have our respawn position, which is named base 1. So base 1 is what will appear. The name will be TFA base, so when somebody wants to respawn, that's what they'll get. Type is infantry, side is blue 4, show to everyone, notification disabled. Don't need to change anything, it's all ready to go. Okay. And then over here we have game master modules. What these do is they provide Zeus perms for anybody who's named. So we have basically at the moment everybody who is in Spartan has got a module there. You would need to make one for yourself if you're not here already. So to do that, what you would do is you would go to Systems, which is F5, go to Zeus and Game Master. Drop a Game Master module in there. And what you would need is to just drop your Steam ID, which you'll find in your Steam profile. So drop your Steam ID in there, put your name in here, and put the same as your name. Basically copy this into variable name like that, and you are done set. Okay, so that means that whenever you're testing your mission, if you hit the Y key, I've actually got it set to double tap Y to go into Zeus, so I don't accidentally spam Zeus if I hit Y by mistake. But if you hit Y, then while you're in mission, you'll be able to Zeus immediately. As an example, there's one that's already done with the Steam ID and name already in. Okay, let's get rid of that for now. If you know who your Zeus is going to be for your mission, let's say Jaffa's going to be your Zeus, then you can basically delete all of the others except your own. So you just keep the game modules that you need. So I'm going to keep mine in. Let's say Jaffa's is going to be my Zeus, my assistant Zeus, so I will leave his in as well. Okay, so that's all of the modules set. Next thing we're going to do is look at our spawn template. So let's just move these modules over to the side out of the way. So what I would recommend is basically zoom out to a position where you can see all of your people at the same time. So you've basically got everybody in your view. And what you would then do, let's say you want to, you don't work in this section, you work in this section. So let's say I wanted to change all of my rifleman's uniform. So at the moment, everybody's got the same uniform. And let's say we want to change. So click on Rifleman, then right click on Rifleman, go to Select and click Select Matching Classes View. And what that has done now is basically selected all of the riflemen in that entire composition. What you would now do, again, don't click over here, right click on any one of these, doesn't matter which one, right click on any rifleman and go to Edit Loadout and Ace Arsenal. If you use your right click, that will basically rotate around the unit that you've got selected. If you use your left mouse button, that will move around and you can use your middle mouse to zoom in and out, so you can basically get a good view of the actual card that you're doing. So let's go to Loadouts and change his uniform. So the first thing you would need to do is basically set up a bunch of loadouts for your specific mission with weapons, with uniforms, backpacks, everything that you want. So let's say I want to run a night op. And I've got a night op setup saved. So I would then click on night ops, click on load, and that's it. Close, and then click apply. So you can see that it's now changed all of my riflemen to that loadout. Okay, let's try it with something else. Let's go to auto rifleman, same thing again. Right click on auto rifleman, any of the auto riflemen, select matching classes view. Now it's selected all of my auto riflemen, so I can click on anyone on the right hand side, edit loadout, Ace Arsenal, loadouts, and then basically do exactly the same thing. Find a good MG loadout, MG multicam, load, close, and apply. So now we can see that all of our MG have got MG slots have got that loadout. So they've all got the weapons, they've got the uniforms, they've got the backpacks and everything. So this is much easier way to do it. You can use A and D, by the way, to scroll left and right, forwards and back. Then trying to select individual, going through combat lifesavers, trying to find them all, and hopefully remembering that you pick them all. So just select one, select matching classes view, and that will select all of your lifesavers. And then you can basically do the same thing again. Right click, edit loadout, and basically do what you want to do. Okay, so that will set all your loadouts. That's the easiest way to do it. What I might actually do is I might make a new 75-man slot template, and I might make a full loadout that already has everybody in nighttime uniforms, and I might make one that already has everybody in a winterized uniform, and I might make one that has everybody in a desert uniform. So then you basically be able to, instead of just like going for this standard one and having to change all the uniforms, you can choose what kind of biome you're going to be using and then just use that slot template. So instead of having just this one, there would be 4. There would be one for desert, one for winter, one for nighttime, and one for woodland, for instance. But that's further down the line. Okay. Next thing that you need to do, I highly recommend to finish off your setup of your group once you've got all the uniforms done, is go to Tools and go to Lobby Manager. You can also just hit Control L. So if I hit Control L, oh, doesn't work. So yeah, that doesn't work. So settings, Tools, sorry, Lobby Manager. Okay, so what we have here is this is what's gonna people are gonna see in your when they're selecting the roles. So as you can see, all of our roles are here. This is all set in the 75 slot template. But what happens when you place that in your mission is everything gets set back to ARMA default. So it starts with Alpha 1-1 and then goes through each squad with the standard naming convention up to Alpha 1-5 and Alpha 1-6, and then it goes to Alpha 2-1, and it keeps running through that. So if you don't want to have those appear on your map, what you can do is go to Overload and change this call sign to Overload. So what you're doing is basically matching your call sign here to your call sign here. And then don't click OK yet, go to the next one, Spartan, change that to Spartan, go to Alpha. This is actually Alpha Platoon Lead, so I'm going to change this one to Alpha Platoon Lead. And then Hotel, same again, Hotel Platoon Lead. And you just basically carry on going through, changing each one of these to match what it says over here. Okay, Artemis, etc., etc., etc. So you go down, change the Hades, change Hydra, change Kraken, change Hermes. Now there's obviously stuff in here that we don't normally use, but those are there just in case they are needed for any mission. So it basically gives you a lot of flexibility. So once you've done all those, then just click on OK, and you are done. Okay, so this is all of the stuff that you can see here is what was done in your description XT. So now we're pretty much set up, ready to go. So what we can do now is go to play in multiplayer. Click on OK, don't need to change anything there. And if we've done everything right, then we should be able to basically oversee. You can see we have Overlord, Spartan. These ones haven't changed because we didn't change them yet. Actually, some of them have. Hydra. Actually, they're already set, so yeah, maybe you don't need to do the lobby manager. I always do it anyway, but as you can see, some of them don't change. So that should say Alpha Platoon Lead. That should say Hotel Platoon Lead, but it doesn't. So lobby manager is a bit faffy. Sometimes it works, sometimes doesn't. But the main reason that I always change them is when you're on a map and you open the map up, if you don't do that lobby manager, some of the names that you get on the actual map can be a little bit weird. If you change the lobby manager to the actual names that you've got in here, then they should appear like that on the map for anybody who's looking at them. Okay, so we can jump into any old slot. I'm going to choose my old slot just because I don't get to use it anymore. Click OK. So here is what I was talking about. So all of that information you put into your description XT appears here. So I haven't done anything here yet, but here's some like useful information. So I just got a map and hit continue. Okay, so here we are. So now we've spawned into the map. Because we deselected AI, there's nobody else here but us. If you hadn't deselected AI, then all of those other slots would have also spawned right now, and there'd be hundreds of players running around, AI running around, making life absolute fucking hell. Okay, so here we are. Okay, let's holster that. Let's have a look over here. So we should have our arsenal. What's going to happen is because for some strange reason the arsenal also loads everything that you have, so it's going through all of my stuff. So there shouldn't be any weapons in here, because we didn't put any weapons into this arsenal, didn't put any guns in this arsenal, didn't put any launchers in this arsenal, but it does have a bunch of helmets, it has a bunch of uniforms, a bunch of vests, and a bunch of backpacks, and then it has all of the standard equipment, so NVGs, binoculars, a map, GPS, radios, compass, watches. Okay, so all of that is in this arsenal already. I'll go through that in a minute. Okay, so arsenal is working. As I said, over here we've got the vehicle arsenal, so same thing, go to interactions, arsenal, and nothing should be in here apart from, if you go to backpack, go to plus, go to sort by amount, then all the bandages, all this is stuff that I've got in my loadout, but what will be in here is all of this. So all of the extra tools are in here, are actually in this box. Okay, so, and then one last thing to test, if I hit YY, yeah, so now this is just testing that my Zeus module is working as it is. As you can see, I've gone into Zeus, so now I've got access to all of the Zeus capabilities. And because we selected a Zeus access to mods, it's showing the stuff that's in the scenario over here, so the users can move stuff around, they can copy it, they can paste it, they can add stuff to it, and you don't really need to worry about all this. It's all there, because we have the Eden editor, Eden extended mod loaded. It gives these users a lot more leeway to play with things. Okay, but this is not covered by the scope of this video. Zeus is something that we're not concerned with. This is just a test that that Zeus module is actually working, and it is. So escape. So everything's working. So we set up, we have all of our modules. So let's get out of here now. Hit abort, yes. And continue back. So here we are. So we can see that now that our Game Master module is working, our Spawn module is working. I didn't test Fortify, but I'm pretty certain that's working. All of our spawns are working, and we have everything good to go. So the limited arsenal is the other thing. So any of these that you don't need, you can delete. The limited arsenal I've put in because it helps you just to build something from your mission. So if you double click on this big box here, go down to equipment storage, it should be empty. If there's anything in there, you can just clear it. Get rid of everything, yes, minimize that, let's go. So we're going to object ACE arsenal. So this is where you will set up your ACE arsenal, or your limited arsenal for your mission. So you decide what weapons you want to use, and then you can go here and you can choose your rifles, go here, choose your launchers, choose your pistols, and anything that you want to put into the mission. Let's say we want to go with AK-74. Click on that, and then click on this icon here. So that would now have basically in that arsenal will be, if we go back over here, scroll down, somewhere in here it will actually also have AK somewhere. Is it all? Yes, alphabetical. Yeah, so there it is. AK-74 is now in there as well. If you want to add peripherals for that weapon, just cancel any yeah. So if you want to add all the sights that are available for that weapon, all of the lights, all of the silencers, and everything else that's available for that weapon, what you would do then is basically, where are we? Where did it go? So once you've let's say let's throw in another pistol as well. Let's throw in a let's throw that in, and let's throw in a Moors Mark 4 Mod 1. So now we've got those in there. So what we can now do is go to sights, and then just hit add compatible items. Go to lights and lasers and hit add compatible items. Go to silencers, hit add compatible items, and just basically repeat that as you go along. So what it's going to do then is go and add all the peripherals that are available for all of those weapons that you've just put in. So now you can see that we've got all of these ammunition for all of those weapons. So it's basically everything that's possible to use in all of those weapons is now loaded. If you don't want to do that, if you want to have specific ammo loaded for each weapon, then you wouldn't basically hit add compatible items. You just go down and choose the specific ammo that you want to use for your specific weapons and just choose them individually. But the easiest option is just to use add compatible items. Okay, so now you've got everything that you need in here ready to go. Okay, what you can then do if you want to is basically hit export, and what that will do is it will copy all of this to a text file. So if you need tab out to your notepad, and by the way, I highly recommend not using a standard Windows notepad. Please, God, don't use that thing. Download Notepad++, do a quick search for Notepad++, and use this. It will make your life extremely easy. Okay, so let's just start a new file. So we just exported, we clicked export. So if we now hit Control V, it will paste in all of that stuff that was in our arsenal. We can now save this file, save as, give it a name. So let's say my limited arsenal, and then basically save that wherever you want to save it. What you would do then is normally once you've saved this, let me just save it onto the desktop. Where's my desktop? There you are. So I'm going to save it to my desktop, my limited arsenal, save it there. So Window D. Show this item. So there it is, my limited arsenal. So now it is in there, and all of this is set. So what you would do is, if you want this to be on the training server, you could then go to Discord, send me this file, and I will be able to then just copy that and stick it into a limited arsenal on the training server so that everybody can go to the training server and sort their loadout out before your actual mission starts. Okay, so that's how to do the limited arsenal. So export. Okay, so that's it. We are set and ready to go. So that is basically your mission set to go. So you can actually, this is now a finished mission. You can save this and you could just load this up now, and this would be an entirely used mission. So the users would then have the total free reign to come in and basically drop down whatever enemy they want, wherever they want. What you would normally do is go to your map and basically decide where you want to put your enemies. You put some map markers, like let's go to markers here, map locations. Let's go to ambush. Let's find a location on your map and start basically putting stuff down. Putting down markers everywhere that would be your actual mission. I'm not going to go into all of that now because that's part for the next mission. All this is just the basic setup to get your actual mission set up and ready to go. Placing enemies and everything would be actual body of the mission. That will depend on your mission itself. So we are ready to go now. So that mission is set and finished. So I hope that's helpful. If you need any more info on any of this, then you can shoot me a message in the Discord. I'll be happy to help. I will put the files and folders that you need into the creator section of the chat on the TFA Discord. So all of this will be in there. Any files and folders that you need will be in there. If you need anything else, let me know. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. I'll post this into YouTube as well, so you can give me a subscribe and a like. Thanks, guys. Take care. Now the embarrassingly awkward part where I have to go find my stream and end it.